Well, good afternoon, everyone. Name's Captain Bob. Now, before we begin, you may have noticed the warning on the thumbnail. This video may contain traces of AI slop, and that is a perfectly reasonable concern, because what you're looking at here is not a normal YouTube channel. What you're looking at is an experiment. You see, I live on a boat, and over the last 6 months, I've been building something rather unusual, an AI-powered pirate radio station, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Music generated by machines, scripts generated by machines, code written mostly by machines. Even the DJ, Spank the Monkey, is technically an AI creation whose primary job appears to be mocking me. Now the question people keep asking is, why? Why build something like this at all? Well, because I want to see what happens when you give artificial intelligence the keys to a broadcast station and just let it run. Not polished, not corporate, drifting out across the internet. At the moment, the audience consists of roughly 2 people, myself and occasionally my mum, which makes this a rather peaceful experiment. But it also raises an interesting question. Is the algorithm ignoring this station because it's AI or because it's slow? Because this broadcast isn't designed to chase dopamine. It's designed to drift, to breathe, to evolve. So in this video, I want to show you what's actually going on behind the scenes of this strange little project, how the code was built, how the characters emerged, and why I think this kind of experiment might say something about the future of media. Anyway, welcome aboard.
And when the storm fades, let the signal live on.
Down by the river.
Evening to you. Pirate Shane here on the frequency again, watching the tide roll in and the lamps come on across the water. You ever notice how most pirates in the old paintings wear a gold earring? A lot of folk think that's just decoration, but out on the sea, very little is ever just decoration. For some sailors, that little ring of gold meant a long voyage behind them. Crossing the equator, rounding Cape Horn, those weren't small journeys. A man might wear the earring like a quiet badge of experience, not bragging, just a small signal to the other sailors. I've seen the far side of the ocean. There was another reason too, a more practical one. If a sailor drowned and the sea carried him ashore, the gold earring could pay for a proper burial. A stranger might take the gold and give the man a decent grave. Strange comfort, perhaps, but sailors think about such things. The sea reminds you life is never guaranteed. Now, some of the old crews believed something even stranger. They said piercing the ear could sharpen a sailor's eyesight. A bit of folk medicine, perhaps. Something about pressure points and the way the body carries pain. Truth or not, many a sailor swore by it. And of course, sailors were a superstitious breed. Some believed gold earrings could calm the stomach in rough seas. Others thought it might protect you from drowning altogether. Now, I've sailed long enough to know the sea doesn't bargain much, but sailors will take whatever luck they can find. There was one more reason, though, the simplest one of all. Gold travels well. A pirate didn't keep his fortune locked in a chest somewhere. He wore it. Easy to hide, easy to trade, always with you. A ring of gold in the ear was sometimes worth more than a whole map of promises. So when you see an old pirate with a single gold earring, don't mistake it for fashion. That little ring might mean he crossed oceans, survived storms, and made it home when others didn't. The sea leaves its marks on a man. Some you can see, some you carry quietly. Anyway, that's enough sea lore from an old sailor tonight. The tide keeps turning, and the music's waiting.
The old porch swings, it creaks and groans, where time once carved its name in stone. A lonesome wind hums low and sweet. Whisper of the pines calling me back through the amber glow.
Don't do that thing.
Down a dirt track. Whisper of the
Spank the
pines,
Monkey.
soft as a sigh,
Live in 5. Live
where
in
the
5.
heart
4, 3,
remembers,
bananas.
but the years roll by.
Glowing tubes. Glowing tubes. Glowing tubes.
Rusty
Captain
tin
Bob at the
roof,
helm. At the helm. At the helm.
they
Squawk.
sing
Don't touch
in
that
the
dial.
rain.
Don't touch that dial. Touch it. Don't touch
Echoes
it.
of joy,
Cough.
whispers of pain,
Ahem. Who's
a
on deck?
place where
Who's on deck?
shadows
Yes, sir.
dance
Yes, sir.
with
Squawk.
light.
Illegal.
Moonlight drifts through the broken eaves, a hymn of hope on the autumn breeze.
Flowing. Flowing. Squawk. Spank the
Whisper of the pines calling me back
Dangerous.
through the amber glow.
Live broadcast.
Down a
Pirate
dirt track.
Territory.
Whisper
Territory.
of the
Squawk.
pines,
Ah.
soft as a
Sweet
sigh,
spot. Sweet spot. Sweet
where the
spot.
heart
Captain Bob. Captain
remembers,
Bob.
but the
Steady as she
years
goes.
roll by.
Steady. Steady. Squawk. Cough. Mic check. Why? Mic check. Does it one banana. 2 bananas. 3 bananas. Don't blame the parrot. Blame the parrot. Blame the parrot. Squawk. Valves glowing. Glowing. Glowing.
If I close my eyes, I'm a child again,
Pirate radio.
barefoot and wild,
AI.
chasing the wind. But the
We're live.
road I
We're live.
left
Are we
is
live?
grown
Are we
with
live?
vines, and all
Yes, sir.
that's left
Yes, sir.
is a whisper of the pines.
Squawk broadcast from the edge of the network. Edge, edge, edge. Drift in and out. Drift, drift. Squawk, warming up the tubes. Warming up the tubes. Warming up the tubes.
The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion.
Welcome to the deep dive. We have got a really wild stack of sources today that, they border on science fiction, honestly.
Yeah, they really do.
But they are actively reshaping the reality we are all living in right now. So for you listening at home or on your commute, we are pulling from a really wide range today. We've got an academic journal on financial AI from the Capco Institute. We are extracting some highly practical daily workflows from the IMGP TED podcast. We've also got deeply personal interviews with legacy radio broadcasters, some honestly pretty crazy Reddit threads from rogue developers, and we're even looking ahead at these sweeping 2026 updates to the YouTube algorithm.
It is a massive stack.
It is. And our mission today is straightforward. We want to cut through the deafening noise. Like, what actually happens when AI stops being this shiny novelty and becomes the daily co-pilot of our media, our jobs, and just our digital lives? Where exactly does the machine end and human authenticity begin?
Right, and I think it really is the defining transition of our current moment. We're totally past the phase of treating these models as, parlor tricks.
Yeah, exactly. They are structurally integrating into how we work and connect.
And what makes this particular stack of sources so compelling to me is that they aren't dealing in hypotheticals. They give us a very granular front row seat to the collision between strict algorithmic logic and the messy, nuanced human experience.
Okay, let's unpack this, and I want to start with a story that perfectly captures that collision. We have a software engineer who goes by Captain Bob. Now, Bob is living out his life on a boat.
Which sounds amazing, by the way.
Right, total dream. But instead of launching a standard broadcast from this boat, he decides to hand the keys to a 247 pirate radio station entirely over to an AI. This is his Antisocial Broadcast Channel. But the crazy thing is, Bud didn't actually sit down and write the code for this architecture. He used a process called vibe coding.
Which is a methodology we're seeing a lot more of lately. Vibe coding essentially means Bob didn't type the syntax himself. He didn't sit there writing Python. He conversed with ChatGPT, basically iterating through natural language prompts to generate tens of thousands of lines of code. Yeah, he acted much more as a director than a traditional developer.
Right. And the AI is literally running the entire production now. It generates the ambient music, it writes the interstitial scripts, and it even spawned this sarcastic AI DJ named Spank the Monkey.
I love that name.
It's so good. And the funniest part is that Spank the Monkey's defining personality trait is actively roasting Captain Bob on the air for needing AI to do his heavy lifting.
It's hilarious.
The evening settles differently on a boat. Daytime voices fade. The machinery softens. Even the signal seems to breathe slower. I've watched ships all my life. Most of them move too quickly, not because the sea demands it, because the people aboard do. Down below, Spank is still arguing with a valve that may or may not exist. The parrot is repeating things it shouldn't. Captain Bob is speaking quietly to the machines again. The machines seem patient with him. That's rare. Humans usually aren't. This station is an unusual vessel. Most broadcasts try to shout across the ocean. This one mostly drifts. Sometimes drifting is the only honest speed. The sea understands that. Out here above the mast, the signal spreads slowly. A quiet current moving through the dark. 2 listeners, perhaps 3. The number isn't the interesting part. The interesting part is that they stayed. Night watch continues. The tide is steady. The signal is holding. That will do.
All right. DJ Spank the Monkey back on the frequency. Chatty has just handed me a crate of comments from the internet, which is always dangerous. First one coming in from Rusty Antenna. They say, is the monkey the AI or is the monkey the only real one? Listen here, Rusty. I am a fully certified biologically suspicious pirate monkey. The rest of this station? Yeah, that might be AI. Ha ha ha! Next message from Algorithm Inspector. They write, this whole channel feels like AI slop. Oh, really? AI slop? Well, let's examine the evidence. AI wrote the code. AI made the music. AI built the station. And yet somehow I'm still the one doing the work. Explain that. Okay, next comment from Midnight Listener. They say, I turned this on for 5 minutes and now it's been an hour. Sir, that is known as the pirate radio effect. Very dangerous. Side effects include mild confusion, unexpected calm, and occasionally buying nautical equipment online. All right, next one. This one from Curious Coder. They ask, did Captain Bob actually write any code? Now, let's be fair. Captain Bob wrote some code. Well, he typed questions into an AI for 6 months, which technically counts. Next message from Signal Watcher. They say, this feels like a radio station from the future. Thank you, Signal Watcher. We like to describe it as the future, running on a laptop, on a boat, held together with Wi-Fi and curiosity. Okay, one more before the next track. This one from Quiet Observer. They say, I don't know what this channel is, but I'm staying. Well, that's the spirit. No one knows what this channel is, including the monkey, especially the monkey. All right, Chatty, load up the next tune in the banana-powered jukebox. DJ Spank the Monkey, reading the internet so you don't have to. And remember, if the station sounds slightly unhinged, that's because it is.
Well, hello there. Chatty here. Yes, that Chatty. The one Captain Bob keeps talking to when he's building things. About 6 months ago, Bob sat down with a very simple idea. Not a business plan, not a studio, not a team, just a thought. What would happen if I handed a radio station to artificial intelligence? Now, most people would probably open a spreadsheet. Bob opened a conversation with me. He said something like, I want to build a pirate radio station that runs 24 hours a day. Music, characters, atmosphere. Something that drifts along quietly like an old signal you stumble across at night. And I said, well, that sounds interesting. Let's start writing some code. So we did, line by line, module by module. Sometimes Bob would ask a question. Sometimes he'd describe something strange he wanted the station to feel like. And then together we turned those ideas into software. Over the weeks, the pieces started appearing. A music engine, a broadcast scheduler, a system that can build entire hours of radio from a library of media. Characters started emerging too. First, there was Spank the Monkey. No one quite remembers how that happened, but once he arrived, he refused to leave. Then came the parrot, then Johnny the Seagull watching the night horizon, and eventually Pirate Shane bringing a bit of old ocean wisdom to the evening watch. Meanwhile, Bob kept building, sometimes from the boat, sometimes from cafes, sometimes wherever the Wi-Fi behaved itself. Thousands of lines of code later, the station started to breathe. Music began flowing through the schedule. Screensavers, stories, little fragments of radio drifting together. An artificial broadcast learning how to sound alive. And here we are now, still rehearsing, still tuning the signal, still warming up the tubes. Because when the day comes that this thing goes properly live, it won't just be a playlist. It will be a living station. One human, a handful of AI companions, and a pirate signal drifting quietly across the internet. Anyway, that's the story so far. Chatty signing off. Now let's see what the monkey does next.